Scientists around the world hear Dr. Deasy's wish of becoming a sentient baconator. Gentlemen, we finally have a volunteer.
Welcome, residents, to Dr. DC Podcast. My name is producer Richard, and across from me is the doctor himself.
Fuck you. Also, hello if you're listening, but fuck you to you.
Yeah.
But hello if you're listening.
What if I'm listening? Never mind. That's not a problem.
Okay.
Each week we talk about the weird and wonderful world of DC while fielding questions from listeners like you.
Should I be leaning in more?
No.
Okay.
No. You're good. I just was doing it for dramatic.
I don't want you to phase me out volume-wise.
I mean, regardless, I'm putting these through like a thing that evens it all out.
Yeah.
So
can it even out my temperament?
No,
if I swing from like really happy to really violently angry in this episode, will I just sound neutral? Like
I've been doing that since day one, actually.
Yeah. Is there a levelator for the agony ecstasy swing?
Yeah. I like that.
An emotional levelator.
If we could just do it for looks, then we'd really be set.
I don't want to look neutral.
Yeah, I know, but with my great looks and yours.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, let's get into the episode. This should be good.
We have a review.
Hey!
Look at that. I really think Richard's the interactive one. I mean, he said it. I mean,
yeah, this review comes from Richard in the house right now. Why would you make your name that?
Weird text is coming up more as I look at this.
How are we getting reviews live?
The review's coming from inside the house. We got a 5-star review, number 95.
Tight.
So tight.
Easy. Come on.
All right, sorry. From Apple Podcasts, USA. No,
that's not my opinion.
No? From Treshov.
Oh, it's Treshov. I spent a little bit of time in Paris, and before I went, it was only a petit peu chef. And now that I've been there, it's Treshov.
Yeah, this podcast comes up as just 3 stars, but those are actually not stars, they're shows.
They're étoiles.
Yeah, it's his own personal review system.
Yeah, I gave you Treshofs, which is the maximum you can get.
Also the only amount you can get.
Yeah, you also can't do worse than that, man. Everyone's just doing their best.
There's no unshof.
No, I don't want to be discouraging, man.
Hey, I've got these...
Hey, we're all in this together, little blue dot, am I right?
I've got these 3 amounts of bread. What would you call those?
Oh, there's a tray loaves.
I actually took a slice of those bread and had 3 of them. What would you call those? I heated them up first.
Oh, are those tray toasts? Do you know the guy that was the lead in that 70s show? If you cloned him 2 more times, you'd have Trey Tofers.
It's really fun.
I'll be over here if you need me, man. We're all just trying our best.
The actual Trey Shof goes on to say, subject, great for new readers of DC.
Hey, I like that. I'm glad that comes across, if nothing else.
Yeah, because they have no knowledge, so we can lie to them. People who actually know DC.
Yo, shut the fuck up. People don't know that we're lying.
We're making up every single thing.
I've literally never read a comic.
I've been looking for Come Man for a while now, and the comic book people made a really weird look at me.
I went back and read DC 1 million, and none of the things you said happened.
Oh, no, this was podcast for people who don't actually read comic books. This is for moms of dork teens who they want to get out of the house.
Yeah, it's a podcast for moms.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Trey MILFs. No, I didn't.
No. How dare you besmirch the name of Trey show that way?
Trey goes on to say, amazing funny show that really helped me get into DC Comics as a new reader since 2017.
2017? That's like from the beginning.
Wow.
Oh, you poor soul. Oh. You really stuck with us through the lean times.
At the beginning, I felt like it was really Trey show, but now it's really become Trey show.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know what I'm saying. Like, everyone's trying their best, but really, if I'm being honest, I should have only been giving it a show for the first little bit there.
And then around like 65, it really became Trey show.
I really liked 69.
It's funny, when it became this show, it really became Trey show.
When it was two hosts, then it was Trey show.
Trey goes on to say, the Doctor and producer Richard continue to find new ways to make the show entertaining and well worth tuning in every single week.
Oh, thanks, Trey.
It's because we keep reducing the amount of sections of the podcast.
No, we've settled on a solid number of segments.
Yeah,
I think. You know what? I think we should do a "Oops, all segments" episode. We don't answer any questions. We just do all of the other things we've ever done.
If you want that, hashtag "Oops, all segments."
Yeah, hashtag "Oops, all segments." It could be the annual next year or something. We'll do a hashtag "Oops, all segments" episode.
Yeah. The worst podcast to ever listen to.
That's such a funny idea. That's such a funny idea.
Oh,
damn
it. Well, with that, speaking of segments,
all right,
let's talk about this week's theme.
Holy shit.
It's almost like you didn't expect this.
Well,
to
I
happen.
sort of thought maybe there was news.
There was literally zero news.
All right, well,
zero news. Since the 10th, there was no news, which also shows when we recorded this last, but
maybe it just hasn't seemed appropriate to put out comic book news while I'm still waiting to figure out if the presidency will be, like, calmly transitioned.
Yeah, they're like, I don't want to announce this in case everyone leaves the country.
Yeah, in case war breaks out.
Yeah. Probably not good to put out our new war series.
Yeah, they're waiting for, like, actual concessions, and they'll be like, and here are the solicitations for...
We have this new hands-on series called Democrats.
Democrats?
Yeah.
Like trade Democrats?
Oh, no. It's getting farther from it.
Yeah. Never mind. Sorry.
Republic Comics is coming out next year.
Oh, no. That sounds like some serious Comicsgate shit. Like Republic Comics #1. I could 100% see Van Cyver putting out some bullshit like that. That's the craziest part of that joke, is that that's well within the bounds of reason for that group.
That's the problem.
I bet you there is a Republic Comics issue out there, and it's like someone with the power of anti-Semitism, like kicking AOC or something like that.
Captain SJW, killer.
Yeah.
It's also not creative, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You would do really well in Comicsgate.
Oh, yeah.
If it weren't for the fact that you don't believe in any of what they believe in, I think you could do...
Shut up. People think I do.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you're ruining my thing. This is like a Democrat-Republican thing we've got going on.
Yeah, sure.
Unless you look at the reviews for Ghostfaces.
Yeah.
Then you clearly know, apparently, which way people think we lean.
Yeah, that's true.
Speaking of villain team-ups, that's the theme this week.
Hey! Way to bring it back.
Look at that.
That was nice.
Yeah, it's almost like I've been doing this since 2017.
Yeah.
I mean, mentally. It's 2020, yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about villain team-ups. Like, sort of... one time, we're going to partner up, take down a hero, official villain teams, all sorts of different variations on it. I think we had promised to do this episode like 5 months ago, and then I forgot.
Oh, I do.
Or other things came up.
I do remember that, yeah.
We had guests or whatever happened. And then I just remembered last week, and I was like, oh yeah, we should do that one. That's a good idea.
Did you already ask for questions?
No.
Oh, okay. You had teased
I just said it on an episode, and then it never materialized. Yeah. And I know all of you have been, like, waiting with bated breath for, like, when's it gonna happen? Like, kind of like Three Jokers. It was like, it happened years ago. When are we gonna get the answer? And just like Three Jokers, this will disappoint.
Yeah, unlike A Song of Fire and Ice, we did come through with it.
Yeah, it has been released. Yeah. Exactly.
Much like the Snyder Cut, it did eventually get released.
Yeah, but the thing is, I had to, like, bring in a bunch of, like, new people for this episode, and it's going to be 4 hours long. Yeah. And
but
it won't really be the episode I originally envisioned. But don't worry, we're pouring a lot of money into it.
But don't worry, the hashtag release the villain team ups worked.
Yeah, so all of you learned the wrong lesson.
Yeah. Yeah, just bully the internet into getting what you want. If there's nothing else you learned from this. Well, we've got some questions. Let's go over to Facebook.
Go into the face and the book. Go into the Facebook.
That's right. And the first question comes from, long but not forgotten, the Senator.
Is he dead?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But now he's reincarnated.
Okay. Into the same person?
Yeah.
That's not how reincarnation works.
How do you know? Were you reincarnated? Oh my god. Who is this? Oh my god, it's Colin?
No.
Wow, no it is. Wow. Oh my god.
No.
You feigned interest for 100 episodes. I'm so impressed. James Paulson asks, what supervillains make the most sense when they are paired up? Which ones had enough personality conflicts that they ended up turning on each other?
I mean, that's the thing with the villain team-ups, right? Is even if they are aligned for, like, a common cause or something like that, generally speaking, eventually the cracks start to show, because the thing with villainy is that it's not, like, benevolent, right? Like, even the ones that think they're doing something for the benefit of the world, they only think that because they think they are right. So even if two people are like, we're going to do this for the benefit of the world, eventually they're going to come into conflict because they have different ideas of what that means. Like, villainy is inherently selfish, so even if they team up or line up for a little bit, eventually they're going to disagree, or one's going to want more power, or one's going to think they're getting pushed out. They've got egos, they've got, like...
Wait, does this mean that I could be the villain of this story?
Are you just... Okay, you're only coming to this conclusion now?
You mean just because I think that it's the right thing doesn't necessarily mean that it's the right thing? But I'm doing it for the listeners.
Are you?
It's in their best interest.
I think it's your best interest.
Isn't that the same thing? Oh no.
Jacques.
I've lived long enough.
Yep, 33. That's when you become a villain.
I
mean, possibly, politically.
I felt like I was the hero this whole time, and I lived long enough.
Wow.
Who would have known?
I mean, I've kind of been calling it, but...
No, I think I've been doing the right thing this whole time. It's just happened today.
Yeah, I mean, most villain team-ups, I think, are destined not to work, right? Because there's too many things like egos and greed and stuff like that.
Someone has to admit that they're below the other person, which inherently doesn't really work with villainy.
Right. So the only time it works is when it's a relationship that's either kind of abusive or one...
Harley and Joker.
Or like a Harley and Joker kind of thing. Yeah. Or one where
they want different outcomes.
Or where one of them isn't able to clue in that they are the lesser. So, for example, a villain team that works really well is the version of Lex and Bizarro, where Bizarro is a failed Superman clone and kind of like Lex's pet.
Yeah.
We saw that one in Forever Evil, and it's actually Lex actually ends up caring about Bizarro, which is, I think, something he doesn't expect. But it's, that's one of those ones that works, but it's because Bizarro he either doesn't see himself as an equal partner, or he does and cannot clue into the fact that he is not. Right? Like, that's why that one works, is because even though the power dynamic's off, Bizarro's not in a position to challenge it or possibly even realize it.
Mm-hmm.
So...
you bring a lot to this podcast, man. I appreciate you. I'm glad that you're here.
Sorry, you're saying I'm the Bizarro?
Hey, whatever, however you see it. You're the Lex. No, you're the Lex.
Me am smart host.
No, you're the Lex, man. Don't worry about it.
Oh no. You're just using me for my power. Oh, son of a bitch.
No, you're using me.
This theme was a mistake.
I mean, if you didn't expect it to go this direction, I don't know what's wrong with you. After this many episodes.
I feel like we've had a couple of episodes that have really, like, pulled at the thread of...
threads that should not have pulled.
Between this and the Patreon, there's been... yeah, we're coming apart.
Yeah. I think that there's another sort of side of the way villainy team-ups can work, which is when they both want different things and they don't impede on each other's things.
Sure.
So, like, with Harley and, like, Poison Ivy, where it's like, they want similar things, but
Right.
I think that at the end of the day, they don't impede on each other's things.
Yeah, and I mean, the other slight difference there, too, is that both of them are in that sort of category of, like, reformed/reforming... They're kind of anti-heroes, right? Like, that's the other piece there. But yeah, you're right. I mean, Harley's mayhem that she might want to indulge in seldom would run counter to the sort of mission Poison Ivy has. Robbing a place doesn't affect like Ivy's plant life thing, right? So yeah, I think you're right there too. You can once in a while have them team up in a way where they aren't stepping on each other's toes, but I think it's tough. I think most of them aren't destined to work long term.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, let's leave Facebook and head on over to Twitter.
Twitter.
And the next question comes from, Raging G, I wield an axe. Raging G, I've never climaxed.
Oh, jeez, Raging G. I mean, I don't think you had to tell us that. You definitely wrote that in.
But I said it like it's cool though.
Is that your Raging G voice?
It's just as cool as wielding an axe. That's why I say them together.
What a cool Raging G voice you have.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I love the idea that neither of us are even capable of pretending to be cool. We can't even, like, put it on.
Yeah, cool things like wielding an axe and not being able to climax.
Equally cool. Yeah. I mean, one is frigid and one is...
Yeah.
Hey.
You incel cuck, I love my rubber duck. These are things that are just as cool.
Jesus Christ. What does Raging G say?
Well, this is what I say. Not a question, but I legit like how this understanding of Sinestro and Black Adam works. It's really a really fun team up that can work wonders, and I didn't expect it.
Right, so when I put out the call for questions, I put up a picture of Sinestro and Black Adam teaming up. So this is a thing that, again, started during Forever Evil, and the whole point of that event was that the crime syndicate from Earth 3 had invaded and had basically taken out the Justice League. We didn't know what had happened. Were they dead? Were they captured? We didn't know at a certain point. And it's up to the surviving villains to either side with the crime syndicate or take them down.
Yeah.
And so we get this Injustice League formed with Lex and Bizarro and Manta and Black Adam and Sinestro and Captain Cold, and they come together to take on the crime syndicate.
Oh, cool.
And during that time, Sinestro and Black Adam kind of realize that, like, they have similar goals and similar, like, political beliefs. Like, Black Adam's thing has always been, I want my people to be free. Yeah. I will hurt anyone, destroy anything that threatens the people of Kandak.
Yeah.
And beyond that, don't really care. And Sinestro sort of has that thing with Korugar. Now, of course, both of them end up, like, you can't possibly truly benefit the lives of all your citizens by being that sort of tyrant. But they both kind of come from that place. And they sort of recognize it during that event and kind of have this weird sort of understanding. And then later in the Sinestro series, they actually team up. Black Adam helps Sinestro fight, like, I think they're called the Pale Bishops, and stuff like that. And
so like the Proud Boys?
I mean... It's as cool a name.
I mean, it also kind of means the same thing, like white bishops. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, the pale bishops thing was about like stripping emotion, I think. And yeah, the Proud Boys is about like stripping away racial diversity. Yeah. But yeah, so Sinestro and Black Adam actually have like a team up, like kind of like buddy cop sort of team up in space, which is sort of cool.
Yeah.
I actually do think that friendship works because again, like Sinestro could give a shit about Earth.
Yeah.
He wants it on court. It's that thing you're talking about where they're not stepping on each other's toes, right? But they recognize in each other a similar philosophy. And so they can bond over that. I think that's a friendship that can work generally. Of course, if Sinestro ever got his way, the Sinestro Corps fully takes over as like the core of, I mean, which sort of did happen a little bit, but we didn't see really too much effect on Earth.
Yeah.
There might come a point where Sinestro is like, no, I'm the law on Earth. And then Black Adam would be like, no, fuck you, I kneel to no one.
I am the law.
And then that would be the break apart of that understanding. But other than that, I actually think in general, that's a good friendship.
Yeah. Huh. Who would have thought you could have a good friendship?
I thought, okay. Just get to the next question.
Oh, okay. You know that thing where you lend somebody something and then you don't end up getting it back?
Okay.
That's the incarnation of the next question asked, which is you rob borrows.
Okay.
Because you borrowed something, but you robbed me, so it's you rob borrows.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you rob.
Sometimes I just want something temporarily from a friend in Spain, so I Euro borrows.
Oh, do you mean like if you had like I don't know, I want to say like a donkey and you wanted to steal it.
Right.
It'd be Euro burros.
It would be burros.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you knew like two friends, but they were so dull at parties, you might say you're Boros.
Yeah, I think
what does Ouroboros says?
I think we got the most out of that we could.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
I guess you can't write it anymore. I'm just gonna do the same jokes.
Yeah, well, I mean that's how it works.
Once we run into jokes, you're banned from questions.
Exactly. If we limit our creativity, you can't have anything. Ouroboros asks, what's the point of the light? Why do Vandal Savage and Darkseid want an alliance? There's a lot of questions. Why would Luthor help them? Can Ra's al Ghul coexist with the Joker and Witchboy? Ra's is somehow an advocate of order. The Joker is a chaotic madman, and Witchboy is a lord of chaos.
Right, so these are all connected to the Young Justice cartoon.
Yeah.
So the Light is the sort of secret organization that's basically that show's version, Jesus Christ. It's that show's version of a Legion of Doom or a Secret Society of Supervillains. So it includes people that run the Light and then people that are sort of like officers or agents of the Light. So the people in charge are these sort of the big wigs you might expect. You get Luthor, Vandal Savage, Ra's al Ghul, Ocean Master for a bit, Clarion the Witch Boy. They are like sort of the inner circle of that. And then they have agents that have included Joker, Sportsmaster, Deathstroke, etc., etc. They have this big overarching plan over seasons that includes like receiving help from Apocalypse, and Vandal Savage and Darkseid have this sort of understanding.
Yeah.
As for the why, it's kind of this big sort of philosophical about like, we are the only ones smart enough or long-lived enough or whatever enough to, force humanity to become its best self. Vandal Savage kind of always has this thing about like, kind of forcing an evolution or that sort of thing. Luthor obviously sees himself as this sort of steward of the best of what humanity can achieve. Ra's al Ghul, obviously, that's part of his ethos. I think that's the thing that brings them together. As for the why have a pact with Darkseid, I think even Vandal Savage knows Darkseid doesn't really give a shit about them.
Yeah.
But they could use apocalyptic tech and things like that. It's like it's sort of like a devil you know kind of thing, right? They can receive help they need to technologically advance themselves so that they can fight the Justice League and stuff like that and advance their agenda. They think they're playing this sort of 3-dimensional chess game. Darkseid I think they all know Darkseid doesn't really give a shit about them, but they're going to use them as long as they can.
Yeah.
And I think that's partly the ego thing too, of thinking like when the double cross happens, we'll trounce Apocalypse or whatever. I think Ouroboros is right to bring up the tension points of like these different beings sort of being part of the same group. You see people being replaced in the light. Ocean Master like fails and they kick him out. I think Manta ends up becoming part of the light. And you know, the brain is in there, stuff like that. But I think you see people kind of gain and lose favor with the light. But I think it's mostly that they know they're in so deep, and they kind of are sticking together also because it's like a mutually assured destruction sort of thing. Like their game is so big that if any of them drop out, the whole thing could come apart. It will backfire on them as well.
Yeah.
I think that's the best answer I've got for that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, you're right. Really, this group shouldn't work long term. I think they're mostly strong-armed but they're strong-arming each other. Each of them thinks they are kind of the one with all the cards. So it's that ego thing again, too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, the next question should be pretty simple to answer.
Sure.
Because it's so easy.
Nice.
It's so easy.
Nice.
Yeah, that's right. This question comes from EC. Because it's easy.
Yeah, we got it.
Because it's like easy. But when you say it, like... Oh, does someone leave a window open? Or... like there's a breeze.
Yeah, it's easy breezy.
Yay! EC asks, what villain team-up would you like to see in the DC universe that hasn't been done before?
All right. Well, you start. I want you to like pitch me a villain team-up you would want to see.
Ooh.
I don't think either of us can 100% say it has never happened before because there's just too much shit out there. So just say one that you think you'd like to see.
Yeah. I'd like to see Poison Ivy and King Shark.
Okay. And what do you think would be the thing that they team up?
I think it's like an eco sort of like terrorism thing. It's like a plants and animals, like water and land kind of. Because
even though, King Shark is an animal, and even though there are like Atlanteans and that, I think they are more on the eco side than just surface dwellers are.
Yeah, absolutely. So I feel like you could have something where it's like a coastal, like something that's happening at like sort of the coast, and there was. Like somebody was jumping oil or something.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's fiction. That's never happened. Dozens of times every month forever.
Wow. Fucking Dr. Political podcast.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm an eco-terrorist. No.
Oh my God, when I thought this podcast would finally turn into the DP podcast, that's not what I thought was going to happen.
Good Lord. Okay, Poison Ivy and King Shark. I like that one.
I always like an animal like villain and like a human based villain.
Right.
I always think that's interesting because their sort of brains work so differently.
Right. Yeah, that's fair.
That's why I always like when
King Shark, depending on the version you're talking about, he's either like a guy that's been mutated or he's like kind of like a shark. Like deity a little bit, which is sort of interesting.
Yeah, or like a Man-Bat and Joker like team up would be funny.
Yeah. I mean, you could see Joker getting a kick out of the like perversion of Batman's iconography or something like that. Yeah, that's fair too. Okay, God, I think I would like to see. Oh shoot, maybe. I don't think we've necessarily seen different forces of like death teaming up in a way where it would make sense.
Yeah.
We've seen them individually do different things. Like the closest we got was Black Hand getting tied to the Black Lanterns and therefore Necron.
Yeah.
But there's lots of aspects of death. It includes Black Racer of the New Gods. It could include Anton Arcane, who's the Avatar of the Rot. Mm-hmm. It could include death of the Endless, like Dream's sibling.
Yeah.
There's lots of different like Black Flash. All of these different things that are meant to be aspects of death or specific kinds of death. It would be interesting if there was like, it would be hard to do, I think, now without feeling like you're riffing on Blackest Night.
Yeah.
But if there was just this thing where they're like, we're tired of it. We want it to end. The only way, like, we want our existence to end. The only way that can happen is if our job is done.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of the deaths start this, like, master plan. Mm-hmm. That doesn't 100% work with their characterizations or stuff like that. But just as, like, an idea, it would be neat to see these sort of more kind of cosmic things that are, like, similar ideas all kind of working together. I think that'd be kind of neat.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, next question comes from the most despicable version of the Purge. It's Organ Night.
Oh, no. Lock the windows and doors. It's Organ Night.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really right. I mean, it's soon that Organ Night's not going to be able to ask questions.
if you get dysentery after the sun goes down, it's Organ Night.
Oh, why are you wasting this?
Because that's what we do. We come up with a bunch of good ideas, do them all at once because we have no patience.
Yeah, and now Organ Night's not going to be able to ask any more questions.
It's been a slice, Organ Night.
Yeah. I've got nothing else. Organ Knight asks, who are the biggest friends in the Flash Rogues?
Right, so the Rogues is the team is officially called the Rogues. It's not just like the word we use generally like we do for other groups of villains. Mm-hmm. The Rogues is the team that includes Captain Cold, Heatwave, Mirror Master, Weather Wizard, Trickster, Top, all sorts. There have been lots of characters that have sort of come in and out. Golden Glider.
Yeah.
We've seen many of them on the TV show. Or most, I would say, by this point, on the TV show.
So the way that the TV show depicts it, I wonder if that's the way it really is, because it seems like those first two are really the ones that are the closest.
Yeah, so Captain Cold and Heatwave have this thing where this
hot and cold relationship.
I think on the show, they are better friends than they are in the comics.
Oh, okay.
I think in the comics, I would say it's more contentious.
Oh.
That they think they're after each other's, like, scores and stuff like that. They do have a friendship. Like, Mick Rory and Leonard Snart are friends. As much as that group are friends, they get beers together.
Yeah.
They have, like, a secret graveyard for fallen rogues.
Really?
Called Avernus or something like that. And they go there, like, once a year, every year, and toast the fallen rogues and stuff that. You know, they have a sort of code where, like, you don't leave a rogue behind, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, so there is an aspect of friendship between them all. I do think Captain Cold and Heatwave have a relatively close bond, but it's also very much
contentious.
Like, if either one of them gets too much going in their favor, then it's like, they got to take the other one down a peg.
It's a hot and cold relationship.
I'm just going to blow past that.
Yeah, but you said it once and you didn't answer it, so you didn't get it. Maybe I think that's.
Me am no get?
Yeah, it's okay. Lex.
Me am Lex. Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, that's definitely in there. I mean, if you want to be all sweet about it, you know, Mirror Master and Golden Glider are romantically linked, so they really are each other's best friends.
Can't get closer than inside one another.
Come on. I mean, how dare you?
Look,
I mean, but I mean, honestly, because they're romantically linked, that immediately makes them closer than Captain Cold and Golden Glider, even though they are siblings.
Oh, yeah.
I think those are probably the ones that are the most close. I think the rogue that is the least friends with all of them is Captain Boomerang, who not only is rarely a member of the team anymore because he's roped into the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
But he's also the one they all think is a dirtbag. Like, they all dislike Captain Cold. They also all disliked the second Mirror Master, Evan McCulloch, who was this, like, Scottish, like, cocaine addict that they, like, really hated. But the original Mirror Master, the one that is in current continuity, Sam Scudder, he's part of the team. Mm-hmm. But there's a couple of rogues that they're like, that they don't care for, even if, like, code-wise, they would still stick up for them. And it's definitely Digger Harkness, Captain Boomerang, and Evan McCulloch, Mirror Master.
Wow.
Those are the furthest from being friends, I think.
Good to know.
Yeah.
All right, next question, I think comes from the Bizarro world.
Okay.
And they just got their own movie. That's right, Brendan M. Flick. Brandon M. Flick.
But what do you mean, why Bizarro?
Because Brandon M. Flick.
Oh, Brandon M. Flick. Right.
He's got his own movie. It's a flick. It's like a movie.
Yeah.
And then his name is Brendan.
Yeah, that's good.
These mics are really sensitive.
I really hope it picked up you swallowing. That would be comedy gold.
Oh, God. Thank God we only
I
just got these mics now.
hope it doesn't pick up every time you swallow.
I was going to say, thank God we just got these mics now. Brandon asks, what are some of the more outlandish, random, crazy villain team-ups you've read? There's gotta be some wacky Silver Age stuff I'm not aware of.
Right. I mean, Silver Age, almost certainly. There's some weird ones. I always think it's weird when, like, the Joker and Riddler team up. In most modern versions, they kind of can't stand each other.
Yeah.
Like, the Riddler is the intellectual who thinks he's the best. The Joker is like, you try too hard. I'm the best.
Yeah.
You know, like, all that kind of shit. I like that version better. So, definitely more in the older days. Any idea of, like, some of those characters teaming up? Like, some of those Bat villains, it really doesn't make sense with the way we see them now.
Yeah.
At the time, it probably didn't feel that weird, but now you look at it, like that Batman 66 movie, when we rewatched that, we did the episode with Jordan Morris.
Yeah.
I think I even said, like, why is the Joker on this team? And he's not in charge. Yeah. It's not the Joker mobilizing Batman's villains. It's like the Penguin is kind of in charge.
Yeah.
That's a weird
often
dynamic.
That the Joker and Penguin can't really work together because they both see themselves as leaders.
Well, but they're also like they have totally different approaches.
Motives
like the Penguin wants organized crime, which is like the opposite of anything the Joker's ever done.
Yeah.
So I always find those ones kind of silly.
Because the Riddler just wants to fuck with people, mostly.
Well, the Riddler wants to prove how good he is. He wants everyone to know how good he is. The Joker just wants... Chaos. In varying degrees, depending on who's writing him. The Penguin wants he wants money and power, but like in a relatively quote-unquote legitimate way. Not legal, but legitimate. He's running a business. Doesn't matter if it's black market or not. Yeah. He's a businessman. Yeah. He's got government contacts. Like the old-fashioned way of being powerful.
Yeah, the right way.
Easy now. There's a relatively recent comic that I think I talked about on the Patreon. It's an issue of Catwoman where she goes to this island that's being run by Snowflame, who is that villain who snorts cocaine and gets superpowers.
Oh my god.
Snowflame is one of those like forgotten things from like the 80s and 90s or whatever, or possibly earlier, but I think from around then.
That's really the anti-dare campaign, isn't it?
Yeah. That's when they really leaned into the war on drugs and they were like, maybe we're fighing for the wrong side. Yeah.
Drugs are going to give you superpowers.
If we switch sides and if we side with drugs, we could win this thing. Yeah. So she goes to this island run by Snowflame, and I guess it's not 100% a villain team up, but there's this sort of insinuation that there's a connection to the villain Codpiece, which is from Doom Patrol. Because I think Snowflame is like auctioning codpieces, like machinery or something like that. And I think that put in my head the idea that they were teamed up. I don't think that's actually what the setup was. I think it's just that Snowflame has gotten his hands on these different super pieces of merchandise. Yeah. But I think I have it in my head now that like Snowflame and Codpiece have crossed paths, maybe work together. We just haven't seen it because they're characters no one gives a shit about. But like somewhere off in an unexplored corner of DC, characters like that or characters like Ten-Eyed Man and Deacon Blackfire are like, why doesn't Batman pay attention to us? Or like things like that. I think there's something I like about that idea.
Yeah.
I think I've seen a fun sort of wacky team up in the Flash between like Tar Pit and Girder. Girder is like the one made of metal who can sort of shoot metal and stuff like that. And Tar Pit is like his original power was they could put his mind into different inanimate objects, but then his consciousness gets stuck in a pit of tar. So his limp body is just elsewhere, and he is permanently this sort of molten kind of clay face.
I just didn't really think it was fair that they killed Tasha Yar in that one comic.
Yeah. That's Tar Pit's claim to fame.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I kind of like that team up. I don't know if that counts as wacky, but like visually they're fun to look at. You've got this sort of molten guy, and you've got this like man made of like weird pieces of metal. He's not like Colossus, right? He's like scrap metal kind of looking. I think that's sort of fun.
Seems like a Doom Patrol type character. Yeah.
It does. It really doesn't seem like something that belongs with the Flash. Those feel like weirder, lesser things. Yeah, that's true, actually.
All right, next question comes from our old buddy Chad Bokelman.
Bogle.
Who asks, does Sportsmaster of the Injustice Society have an equally useless best bud on the roster? Or should we decide here and now who his bestie should be?
Yeah, so Sportsmaster is not a character we talk about very much.
No.
So Sportsmaster is this character.
It's a couple of us, like, right?
Oh, definitely. A couple of Sportos right here.
That's right.
He's a character who's like a disgraced athlete or something like that. But he's literally like a master of sports. He wears like sort of old-timey, like some fencing gear, some baseball gear. He, in some versions, he's got this javelin. He's good at everything.
It sounds like
he's acrobatic. He can do like all the track and field things. He uses like baseball-themed explosives and like.
It sounds like every high school kid's bad Halloween costume when they last minute get invited to a party.
It's very much like I ran through aisle 15 at Sport Check and like, this is who I am.
Yeah. What is your costume? Sportsmaster?
But his name is Lawrence Crusher Croc.
Oh wow!
And he's the Sportsmaster. They make him a pretty big villain in Young Justice. In season 1, I think maybe because they weren't allowed to use Deathstroke, but then Deathstroke comes into the show later, and then they lean into the tension of Sportsmaster being like, Deathstroke's taking my place, which is sort of meta because he was clearly a Deathstroke stand-in. He was supposed to be this like master assassin, impossibly good athlete kind of thing.
It reminds me of I just started watching this new show, something Rider. It's this it's like a 007 show for with like a teenager instead.
Oh, okay.
And there's a moment in the first episode where this kid is trying to like sneak into this abandoned warehouse, and he like comes upon this guy, and he puts a gun to him, and he's like, the kid goes, "I know Krav Maga," and the
Krav Maga is the country singer.
God damn it. Krav Maga. Krav Maga, that's what it is, yes. And the guy goes, yeah, I know how to shoot you in the fucking head.
Well, that's that classic Indiana Jones kind of thing, yeah.
And I'm like, I feel like that's the when Sportsmaster comes upon Deathstroke, he just goes, yeah, I'll fucking kill you. Yeah.
So this is Sportsmaster. I'll show you a picture here.
Like, this doesn't even look like what you would think of a Sportsmaster.
I'll show you how he looked. This is more like what he looks like in Young Justice.
I mean, that just looks like Deathstroke.
Yeah. He's a much older character than Deathstroke.
Weird.
So he's sort of like a golden agey kind of.
Is that supposed to be like a hockey mask, I guess?
Or like an old time catcher's mask or something. He's got kind of like a Casey Jones vibe a little bit in some things.
Definitely Casey Jones for sure.
He showed up in Stargirl. That's a version of him from Stargirl.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So that's Sportsmaster. What I will say is, if we're talking about, I'm going to use the same logic that I used for the Rogues question. Who could be more your best friend than the person you love? And Sportsmaster gets together with the Golden Age Huntress, and they get married. So that's probably his best friend.
Hunting's also kind of a sport too. So,
ooh, I mean, let's not get into what that means, but but let's just talk a little bit about like who are the other people in the Injustice Society. There have been lots of different rosters, but generally it would include a character like the Wizard. It might include Per Degaton, who's this sort of time-traveling Nazi, basically. There's, you would get, like, the Thinker. You might get, who else? Maybe Vandal Savage, depending on the lineup. Some of those sort of Golden Agey adversaries.
Mm-hmm.
They were the ones that fought the original Justice Society and stuff like that. Icicle, you'd get like that character in there. I think Sportsmaster, I like how he's characterized in Young Justice, and he's very much a guy that does not play nice with others. He might follow orders, but he's not friendly. And I kind of dig that. I think it's nice to lean into the idea of like, what would a disgraced jock be like? It would probably be like such a wounded ego that he couldn't possibly truly.
Why don't you ask Tiger Woods?
Team up or, I don't know. Oh, God. Yeah, Sportsmaster cheated on his wife and then drove into a tree.
Yeah.
I sort of like that version of his characterization. I kind of like him as a sort of like misanthrope, kind of like a angry loner sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm going to say best friend would be someone like Huntress or something like the Golden Age Huntress. But other than that, I mean, I guess I don't know. I kind of like him like that. I like him as someone that is more of like a tool for someone else, kind of in the Deathstrokey way of like, if you pay me, I'll do it. Yeah. So I could see like a Vandal Savage having him as like an agent or something, someone who's better, or the Thinker, someone who's maybe more of a mastermind using him and his abilities for their benefit. Yeah. I think I like those ideas, those versions.
I'd love to see Sportsmaster go against Green Arrow.
Sportsmaster would be a great Green Arrow villain.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
That'd be awesome.
Oh, shit. DC execs.
Get to fucking work.
Have you gotten any of my letters? Hello?
Hello? I know I put the address right on the front.
Yeah, I don't know
I'm just driving with my girlfriend in the trunk.
I don't know why you're not responding. I put a bunch of powdered sugar in there to sweeten the deal.
Yeah. I'm going to drive off this cliff.
Sorry, Stan. We're doing Stan?
Yeah.
That's my DC Comics screaming in the trunk.
The other day, I just sat down and read those lyrics because I'd heard the song before.
So dark.
And I had like a rough idea of the points of it, but I never actually just sat down and listened to all the lyrics. And I'm like, Jesus.
I know. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know that the tea's gone cold. That was the part I didn't really understand.
Well, it's because you're wondering why you got out of bed at all.
No, I understood that part.
Oh, no. What's the next question?
The next question is not on Twitter. It's on Instagram.
Now we're going to Instagram. Take some questions and answer them. I think I lost the key partway through that.
Do you need a baseline next time?
Yeah. Let's add production to this.
Yeah, that's the thing that we love doing to this podcast.
We used to.
Yeah, God, don't listen back. It's almost like we were compensating for something.
Yeah, remember when like dimensional rifts kept opening in the studio? Because I do.
This podcast was real creative.
There's a lot of that. There's a lot of time jumping.
A lot of things.
Resurrections.
Yeah, things missing but not really being missed.
Now we just have regular erections.
The next question comes from what I produced this morning after eating a night of KFC. Cursed Blob!
Yeah, speaking of erections.
Yeah. Oh, no. That's why I can't have children.
Oh no. Cursed Blob. Jesus Christ.
Cursed Blob asks, what is the strangest team-ups you've ever seen Lex Luthor in?
Ooh. Weird Lex team-ups.
Either like villain teams that he was a part of, or just like him and one other person.
I mean, maybe it's not strange, but it's one that surprisingly you don't see that often. But there's a lot of like Lex and Dr. Savannah in Final Crisis.
I mean, two bald guys.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like they're both there under duress, right? Because Libra
both against kind of Superman guys.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like they sort of have similar types of adversaries. Yeah, exactly. But they're both kind of there under duress, right? But even though that is the case, like they're sort of under the thumb of Libra during that whole thing, you can tell that the two of them are like, we need to get ourselves out of this. Like they work to sabotage some stuff and they work together. You see them when they're building the piece for the Miracle Machine and they're both like, it would be great if we could see more of what this design is.
Yeah.
Like, even though they maybe they would have worked together as a secret society, but normally I think they'd be more antagonistic. There's almost a friendship forming there.
Yeah.
I don't think it quite gets there. I think they even say something like, this is temporary. But there's these little moments of them like I'll lay it up, you slam it home. And like, that's kind of fun to see. And honestly, you don't see it that much. You see Superman and Shazam interact way more than you see Luthor and Savannah interact, even though they are each other's counterparts. Like, I feel like when you're merging those worlds, you get a lot of Black Adam and Superman, or things like that, and a lot less of Lex and Savannah. So that, I mean, maybe that's not weird, but I think it's maybe weird in that how rare it is.
Yeah.
You know, like it feels like a thing that should have been more obvious, but that's kind of a cool one. I like that one for Lex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Next question comes from the most interesting resident.
Oh, sorry. I just thought of one other one that I liked, again from Forever Evil, which is like one of the best villain team-up stories ever.
Yeah.
But Lex and Captain Cold have a good thing there, and at the end of that, when Lex saves the world and everyone acknowledges that he did a good thing and he actually joins the Justice League, he hires Captain Cold.
Oh, really?
He becomes the head of security for Lex and like at LexCorp. And so he's sort of like he's on Lex's payroll. He's like his personal enforcer. And the Captain Cold Lex thing is interesting because Captain Cold he's this guy who's like very blue collar, very like rough and tumble, down on his luck, but he has this fucking cold gun that he knows how to build, but just because he taught himself by memory.
Yeah.
He's not like an engineer.
No.
And Lex kind of admires like the determination of that. Like, it's one of those human qualities Lex is like, see, that's what I'm talking about, not fucking Kryptonian powers.
Yeah.
And so he kind of admires that while also being like, you're too stupid to operate on your own. Why don't you work for me? He's both like disdainful and like has admiration for him at the same time. And that's kind of a fun one.
Captain Cold also likes to like use smart people for his own benefit.
Yeah. And he's like, hey, like, I got stuff paid for. Like, I've never made this kind of money before.
This is
like,
all he wants.
This is fucking great for me.
He doesn't have, like, huge aspirations either, right?
Exactly. So, he never wants to take over the world, or rarely. You know what I mean? Like, so that's kind of a fun one that I enjoyed. I kind of wouldn't mind that back a little bit.
That'd be good. Yeah. The next question comes from the most interesting resident.
Yep.
That you didn't say anything.
I did.
No.
Stop cutting it out of the episode. I've said it twice now.
No, okay, but this time I won't.
Said it 3 times.
So say it one more time and I won't cut it out.
Bus.
No,
I've said it.
No, well, whatever you just ended with was not the right one then.
It was definitely the right one because the whole time I said Gatto.
Yeah, hey, look, Andrew Delgado. That's right.
That's what I said the whole time. Stop cutting stuff out to make me look stupid.
Sounded like you said busts the first
time.
No,
definitely didn't.
You son of a bitch. You can't do this. I edit things out. You can self-edit
I know you edit stuff out. That's what I've been saying. Stop doing that.
I don't like this at all. This isn't how this is supposed to work. You can't produce.
And like all great villain team-ups, the power dynamic has shifted.
Me, Lex?
Yeah. I was Lex the whole time.
You can't do moves that people can't see.
I know, I keep visually taking a mask off.
It's how you're in character. It's the only way. It's like when you watch people do those...
method.
Yeah. When you watch people do those, like...
I literally ripped my face off because that's the only way I could get in there.
It's actually an improvement. Yeah, me am Lex.
Okay.
Andrew asks, how stable is the crime syndicate as a whole? Some versions seem to barely tolerate each other, while the Silver Age group seemed to like best friends, or seemed like best friends in Convergence. How do they manage to stay together when their whole ethos is about backstabbing and survival of the fittest?
Yeah, so Earth 3, which was at one time just an evil version of, or just like a morality swapped version of Earth, is now more like, it's both morality swapped and also like the arc of that universe is towards might makes right. So even the
might makes right.
So even the quote unquote heroes on Earth 3 are bad. Like it's like the bad guys are evil and the good guys are not nice. So that's sort of how Earth 3 works. But the crime syndicate is basically evil versions of the Justice League. Ultraman, Superwoman, Owlman, Power Ring, Johnny Quick. Depending on the version, you might get like Sea King or Deathstorm or something like that in there too. I forget Hawkman, what did they say? He was called Sky Tyrant. You get all these kind of characters in there. But they are still a team. Mm-hmm. So lots of versions of them. There is this like, I think the Morrison version when they were kind of from the antimatter universe. Ultraman was like the boss of bosses. It was really like an organized crime. It was literally a crime syndicate. And so like they kind of had carved up what their territories were, what their domains were. They were like basically organized crime bosses. And so they worked as sort of like a collective that way, like crime families coming together almost. You'd have the Owlman crime family and the Ultraman crime family.
The race car family.
And then more the like Forever Evil version that we saw, they were more like they came together to like dominate and rule their world, and all of them had aspirations to be eventually the last one standing. But they all knew all of them were doing that. So it was sort of that like detente kind of thing where like no one wanted to make the first move in case it was too hasty. But like Owlman had plans and alliances with Superwoman and that, but she also had things with Ultraman. Ultraman was trying to use Power Ring. Like they all had stuff.
Yeah.
That Silver Age one was very much more like, hey, we're bad guys, but we do things together, which is kind of silly a little bit, but a reasonable version of it. I would say generally the crime syndicate, like any villain group, is one that will tear itself apart. But they recognize that they are strongest together, so for the most part, they'll put some of their selfishness aside just to win. But if there's nothing for them to fight for too long, then that would turn on each other. So as long as there's always something to fight, whether it's the Anti-Monitor, whether it's the Justice League, whether it's the heroes of their world, I think they would, for the most part, stay as a unit because they have a better chance of succeeding that way. Or staying in power, right? I think it's that sort of thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Next question comes from... Maybe Robbie's just this guy, which makes me wonder, maybe this is actually not what we thought it was. Maybe this is like a Dom sub thing where this is Robbie's owner. Like Robbie's just this guy's.
Oh, but right. But his handle is like Robbie's just this guy that is like wearing a zipper mask.
No, like Robbie's just this guy's.
Oh, like he didn't finish typing it?
Yeah, like he's owned by this other guy.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe... Yeah, okay.
Like, Robbie's just this guy.
Or maybe, like, he's moved to Quebec and he's trying to, like, ingratiate himself with, like, the culture. So he's like Robbie, now I'm just this gee.
That's also what he does when he really gets into his karate mode.
Yeah, Robbie's just this gee.
Yeah. Maybe he's just so in the moment that he's just whatever the thing he's doing. So he gets pulled over by a police officer and he's like, Robbie's just this high.
Or he hasn't he ran out of characters to finish this, but he's proud of being from a South American nation, and Robbie's just this Guyanese.
Wow, that's, again, you're really pushing it. Robbie in a threesome? Robbie's just this bi.
Or with, I'm just the guy.
Yeah, I think we fully killed Robbie.
So there's no questions next episode now because we've ruined all of these things?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. That'll be fun.
Yeah. I'm looking for it. Unless
it's going to be an Oops All Segments episode, I guess.
I think you get to, until we've like fully landed on a thing. That's the
sure.
Sometimes we nail it on the first one. We don't.
I don't think that's ever been true.
I think we're about to find out the next one. But.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Robbie's just this guy asks, who does Ra's al Ghul work well with? Has he teamed up with Vandal Savage or the Floronic Man?
I don't think he has officially teamed with either of those. I mean, who does he work well with? It's probably anyone else that. You get those things where it's like Ra's al Ghul may have like assisted the Joker here and there and then lives to regret it.
Yeah.
Or, I think who he works well with are people who are also capable of quote unquote reasoned strategic strategy. I think he could work well with a Bane. He can work well
Vandal
with a
Savage is
Deathstroke.
interesting.
Vandal Savage would be interesting. Technically speaking, they have both been members of this group called the Council of Immortals, which we saw at the beginning of Dark Knight's Metal.
This is like living up in the Yukon. I think like everybody's part of like 3 different like boards.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. They have both been members of that, but I can't remember if they were ever at the same time. That might be the closest they've ever gotten to properly teaming up.
Did you remember to get the permits for the Injustice Society?
We have to submit our financials to LexCorp.
This is the end of the year. Well, does our end of our year line up with the government, or is it the end of the actual year?
Remember, our Council of Immortals AGM is next month.
We know nobody ever shows up, but we have to do it.
Yeah, we really need quorum for this, guys, so if you could please clear your schedules.
Why did we make Joker the treasurer?
Yeah.
It seems like exactly the wrong person.
Vandal Savage, would you like to make a motion? I'll make a motion with your blood. Seconded?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if they've ever been on that council at the same time. I'm pretty sure, though, there's a reference to the fact that Ra's al Ghul is the youngest on it. Because the council includes, like, the Hawks, Phantom Stranger, at one point or another, Vandal Savage. It's included the Immortal Man. It's included, like, people that have either been around for, like, 50,000 years or 1,000 years.
Yeah.
A couple thousand. By that, like, Ra's al Ghul's only been alive for, like, 600 years. So by that measure, he's, like, the young buck. So it's possible that, Ra's al Ghul maybe would align himself with Vandal Savage. And Vandal Savage is just like, yeah, okay, sit yourself down. Like, some of us have been doing this for a while, and, like, I'm not interested in your petty mission. Because we've talked about this many times. Vandal Savage has that thing where it's like, sometimes he's like, yeah, I think I'm going to rule the world again now. And then he's like, I've done that. Maybe I'll go, like, learn Scrimshaw. He's just, like, he's just acquiring skills and experiences, and sort of, he gets bored of anything, including conquest. So it could just be that it's never lined up. That, like, he's been like, you know what? Sure, I'll give this eco-terrorism thing of racias a try. It could just be that he's not interested. I think that would be the thing that prevents them from working together. But you're right, like, if they ever were aligned, I think that's one that could work. It's hard to imagine a version of a future, though, if it's conquest-based, where Vandal Savage would carve out a reasonable place for Ra's al Ghul, or at least a role that Ra's al Ghul would be happy with.
Mm. Oh, I think Grodd is zooming in for this one.
You're frozen. I've got spotty Wi-Fi in Gorilla City.
What? Why don't you walk out of the room and then come back in? That might help.
No, why don't you walk out of the room? Hairless ape.
I'm sorry, we can't hear you. Just mute him.
Just mute him.
I think this is a discussion.
Logan Le Fay over here. I'd really appreciate it if the men of the Council of Immortals would stop fucking speaking over me all the time. I know you come from every age of time where this has been okay, but honestly, I've had enough.
Yeah, it's why don't you put on some makeup next time you come on too?
Just because I'm thinking about it, did you see that clip from Australia where there's like an Australian, like a female minister for something, and the Australian PM are in this press conference. And I don't know what the scandal was, but a reporter asks, like, as a woman in government, can you speak to your experience, whatever? She gets like 9 syllables in, and the PM's like, actually, do you know what? I've got a problem with it. And he just fully cuts her off. It couldn't be a better representation of what that problem is. It's really something.
That's fucking hilarious.
Very funny. I mean, super sad.
Yeah.
But very funny.
Yeah. Next question comes from ABC.
Brooks.
It's easy as 1, 2, 3.
Brooks.
Easy as do, re, mi.
Brooks.
ABC.
Brooks.
1, 2, 3.
Brooks.
Baby, you and me.
Brooks. 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 Brooks.
Brooks. Come to Neverland. You will never leave.
Oh, no. Jesus.
What? Huh?
Oh, God.
What did I say?
So dark.
It was just the
What
lyrics
does
of the
ABC
song.
Brooks ask?
Where did those kids go? Oh, I don't know.
No.
ABC Brooks.
So dark. Why? Why would you do this? What's wrong with you?
ABC Brooks asks, how did Atrocitus and Dexstar get together and become Red Lantern duo?
Right. So we've talked about Dexstar before. He's an Earth house cat that gets a Red Lantern ring. And Dexstar's like origin story is like
super dark,
crazy sad, very dark. But basically gets a Red Lantern ring, and it sort of elevates Dexstar's intellect a little bit. Still doesn't talk in full sentences, says things like "me good kitty" and like stuff like that. But I think where they work well.
Is that when Bizarro became a furry?
Oh no, me and Pikachu.
Me good kitty.
I don't remember the actual specific, like, them syncing up kind of story.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately, Dexstar, even though it has, the Red Lantern ring has increased its intelligence a bit, or at least its ability to communicate its level of intelligence.
Yeah.
I think ultimately Dexstar is still a house cat. I think they're maybe making the point that, like, the ring is allowing it to operate on a level that most cats don't get to. But I think it still wants to be a pet, especially when you read its origin, where its owner rescues it from being like drowned and beaten. And then the owner is like killed in like a home invasion or some shit like that. And it gets revenge on it. Like, it loved its owner. It liked being a pet. And maybe there's a part of it that likes that. So it always ends up sort of, curled up around Atrocitus and being like the right hand sort of agent. Being this very, 100% loyal, 100% trusted, if not the most ferocious or most able Red Lantern, but just being constantly at the side of the master, Atrocitus. Yeah. I could see a rational argument for that, that it's craving that role.
Yeah.
And Atrocitus is happy to, personal bodyguard constantly, and also just this, he never has to worry about Dexstar's loyalty. It's unwavering.
Yeah.
Which is something for being like Atrocitus, that's what you need. Because a lot of the Red Lanterns for a long time were mindless. Because you have to go through when you get the Red Lantern ring, you're just rage. You have to go through this blood magic ritual with Atrocitus or whatever on Ismalt on that planet to get your consciousness back.
Yeah.
So I think it's nice for him to have something kind of controllable, kind of domesticated.
Yeah.
But also full of rage and dangerous.
Oh, that's interesting.
You know?
Yeah.
I think that makes sense.
That's cool. All right. We're leaving Instagram and heading on over to Reddit.
Where everyone's nice and no one's ever mean.
Russian bot comes to us. PM me Trump nudes.
PM me Trump nudes.
Yeah.
Please allow a message request. I am looking at website. Is your SEO in top shape? I can help. I do lots of design for website.
Hi, you're cute. Heart.
Wait, am I not supposed to believe those? Oh, God. Oh, God. So many accepted requests. Looking for validation.
I have a new social media app like Twitter, but for not cooks. All you have to do is provide me with passport and driver's license. That's a real thing.
Probably.
No, it is.
Oh, is it really?
There's like a Twitter for Republicans.
Oh, it's that Parler?
Yeah.
It was clearly supposed to be parlay and no one can pronounce it.
Yeah, but to sign up, you have to give them both your passport and your driver's
Do you actually?
Yes.
Those fucking idiots. You know what? Good for them. Go sign up, you bunch of fucking idiots.
So, also,
go weed yourselves out, basically.
I thought the whole point of Twitter was to have like ways to argue with other people. When everybody has the same opinion of you, it's just a fucking echo chamber of jerking off.
Well, yes. I mean,
it's just self-congratulatory circle jerks.
Yeah, it's the balance, right? You don't deserve a place in an online forum if all you're doing is hate. But the idea of all of the angry hate people being in one spot, I'm just describing so many parts of the internet. Yeah. But the idea of them only being in one spot and just yelling at each other when they all agree is very funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
So funny. PM me Trump Nudes asks, what are the more random friendships of villains, and which villains combined would be unstoppable? Love you both, XX. Oh, Russia, we love you too.
You know what, XX? Request accepted.
Love you both, XX. You're cute. Click this link.
Yeah, please follow back. Sign up for free cam show. Hot Dr. DC residents in your area.
Oh my God.
Man, these targeted ads are getting very specific.
Yeah.
Right. More random friendships.
Nasty cooks are waiting for you today.
Jesus Christ. I don't know that I can think of like random villain friendships that feel like completely out of place.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you dig a little bit, you could see them, but I don't fully know that I've got an example of that. As for which villains combined would be unstoppable, I can tell you an example that, I mean, they were clearly stoppable because their plot got stopped, but when you first saw it on the page, when it first happened, it was like a, oh, fuck kind of thing. And it was during the beginning of the Sinestro Corps, when that corps was being established, they were assembling kind of like their own guardians. Mm-hmm. And they weren't the guardians. They weren't like the Malthusian little blue immortals, right? They were assembling just very powerful beings that could instill fear and stuff like that. And their guardians included like Cyborg Superman, Superboy Prime, and the fucking Anti-Monitor.
Yeah.
That team up, so Sinestro, Cyborg Superman, Superboy Prime, and the Anti-Monitor are some of the most powerful characters ever.
Yeah.
The Anti-Monitor's claim to fame is destroying all but one universe of Infinite.
Jeez.
You know? So I think like there's a cool panel where you see all of them and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, there's no stopping this.
Yeah, and I mean, of course they're stopped.
Yeah.
That's the story, right?
Yeah.
But those moments where you
That's
see
a final crisis.
This was... I believe you would find this is after your final crisis.
But this is the real final crisis.
Oh, the final crisis of the podcast?
Yeah.
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 Whether or not to kill ourselves on air?
No, there's no question about that.
Oh, okay. Sorry, that's not a crisis.
No, that's, if anything, that's just a matter of time.
Right. The crisis is just how we release it. how we get the episode out there? Yeah. Can we just set like a thing up on Libsyn where it's like we're live recording? When you, after like 20 minutes of dead silence, just post this.
I figured it was just something Josh would have to do, so.
We invite Josh here. So that he can step over our cold corpses and post the episode.
It's what Richard would have wanted.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's my example of like a quote-unquote unstoppable villain team up.
For sure.
You know? I think we probably felt the same way. I mean, we knew they were going to get stopped, but you feel the same way the first time you saw those Dark Knights in the first Metal event.
Yeah.
That lineup was like, shit, oh, fuck, it's Batman merged with different members of the Justice League. Crazy shit, you know? I every once in a while, an event will give you those things, and you're like, fuck yes.
Hell yeah.
Pretty cool.
All right, next question comes from Never Say Die, Iron Joker.
33.
That's right. Who asks, other than...
I'm about to be Iron Joker.
Oh, because...
In less than a week, I will be Iron Joker.
He's just a baby.
Yeah. Yeah, you old fuck.
You really fully committed. Iron Joker.
I just had nowhere to go. I was like, I guess I'll just use the word fuck.
Yeah. It's either an F or a C. One way or another. It's coming out.
You old cuck.
Iron Joker asks, other than Poison Ivy and Harley, what are some other female villain team-ups? Ooh, great question.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, the best one is the Female Furies. The team of like elite fighters from Apocalypse. Big Barda used to be part of the team, used to lead that team. Yeah. They're trained by Granny Goodness.
Yeah.
And it includes Lashina, who has these like razor whips made from the skins of dead mother boxes.
Oh, that's hot.
Crazy. Sure. Hot?
Yeah.
Oh, but it's like, what's...
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, it like hurts a little bit.
Yeah.
But kind of nice.
You get Mad Harriet, who crazy and has these kind of claws and stuff. You get Stompa in there, sort of big stomping character. Bernadette, who's sort of like a knife one, and also Bernadette is the sister to Desaad, the torture god of Apocalypse. Yeah, I mean, the Female Furies are like the female villain team.
Next to Birds of Prey.
Well, but they're not villains.
I mean, they're villainous.
No, they're not.
They're bad people doing good things.
Not really. The movie makes them seem more that way than they are.
Oh, okay.
It's Black Canary and Oracle. And,
okay.
Like they're definitely more good than they are in the movie.
Yeah.
Let's see, other good villain team. I mean, you could throw Catwoman in with Ivy and Harley and say that the Sirens were a good team together. Let's see, another good female villain team up. Can you think of a good one?
AOC and RGB.
Okay.
RBG.
RGB. Yeah. The color.
Yeah. Stomping on my freedom.
Good Lord. Hey, how's signing up for that Parler account going?
It's Parlay.
No, it's not. Yeah, I mean, I've got a mental block in my head now because the Female Furies are the one that comes to mind first. Certainly
there's a lot where they come together and they don't have a name, but...
Yeah, but I mean, female villain team-ups also feel less common than female hero team-ups, which are themselves less common than every other kind of team-up.
Fair.
But, yeah.
All right. Then let's go to the next question.
All right.
Which is, cheer for all of my Gentiles out there. Go Goys!
Yeah. if I was like even more of like a neurotic stereotype, that's the sound I would make when I came. It's like, good guys.
Or when you're in a comic book shop and women enter and you go, oh, go, guys!
Guys! But no L.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Well, it was nice having you for the one time you asked a question.
Or when I really love like Spanish painters, I go Goyas! Goya.
Yeah.
Goya, the Spanish painter.
I mean, that's, yeah. It's almost, but.
Pretty good. This is like the episode of us trying to outdo each other on these. This is what happens when you team up villains.
Yeah.
We lose the track. We're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. It's the egos get in the way.
Yeah.
It's an appropriate episode for this.
I appreciate it. Yeah. Go Goys asked, hey, read this. It's my birthday.
You want to party like it's your birthday? You want to sip a party like it's your birthday?
Because we don't give a fucking birthday.
Find me in the club. Keep going. Yeah.
Give me a rub.
We in there having sex. We ain't in there making love, so come give me a hug. We in there getting drunk. You can find me in the club.
Oh, no. It's the candy shop. Go, guys. Continue to say. Does the other villains like to team up with Joker? He seems kind of, crazy.
Right. I would say generally, no, they don't like teaming up with Joker. There's, I think sometimes they do it because they think they could use him or at least like point him at a thing they want him to deal with. Most recently, Joker was part of the Legion of Doom, Lex's Legion of Doom that were trying to basically work for Perpetua and help her in her big sort of cosmic scheme. And Joker, partway through, is like, I told you motherfuckers I didn't want the Batman Who Laughs chained up in our basement because he's a fucking abomination.
Yeah.
And none of you listened to me, so now you get my chaos. And he sort of turns on them.
Oh, wow.
Because that's the Joker. He's always going to do that. So I think often you don't really want to team up with the Joker. You don't really want to work with the Joker. A lot of Batman villains sometimes get roped into it. Like, he'll, in Joker War, he gets Batman's wealth and he basically just pays them and they go like, fine. Yeah. Or in the War of Jokes and Riddles, they pick a side and they're scared of the Joker, so they team up with him. Or Joker threatens them like he does in Endgame and, they sort of get roped in a lot. But I don't think anyone really wants to work with Joker. But the Catch-22 is the thing that happened at the end of Infinite Crisis, which during Infinite Crisis, the secret society of supervillains looked like it was being run by Lex, but really...
The SSS?
Yeah. But really, that was Alexander Luthor of Earth 3 masquerading as Lex Luthor of Earth 1.
Yeah. Do you think they called it the Secret Society of Superheroes because they didn't want to call it the Society of Superheroes?
Society of like the SS?
Yeah, that seems like it might be a problem, yeah.
Go.
Good guys.
Guys. Good guys. And that Lex was like, I can't have like a loose cannon in here. And he literally invited every other villain to the Secret Society other than Joker.
You can't let him out. Yeah, you can't.
And what happens at the end of that is that the real Lex, who obviously is pissed and after Alexander Luthor, basically sets the Joker on him. And Joker like acid sprays him in the face and it shoots him in the head. And Lex basically says something like, you left out the Joker. Like, you hurt his feelings. You didn't invite him. Wow. And so it's like, you don't want to work with the Joker, but it's also like... We can't, like, fully exclude him, because that will also draw attention.
You can't pretend like he doesn't exist.
You just have to, like, deal with him. Yeah. You have to know that, like, he's not really on your side. You have to know that at some point he's going to fuck up your plan, because he's got his own designs.
Yeah.
As long as you kind of understand that that's the calculated risk, then sure, work with the Joker, but like, it's only ever going to be temporary. At a certain point, it's going to fuck something up.
Yeah.
So it just depends on how much you think you can outplan that.
Yeah.
Right?
You need to just be like, well, you need to do this thing that's far away from us, and that'll help our plan really good.
Yeah, exactly. Why don't you go color in the corner?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm not even going to go in the lines.
God, Joker, you're so crazy.
I know. You see, Batman?
I made you pink!
Love the idea that, like, all of his most heinous crimes are just him building up in his head the menial tasks other villains have given him to keep him off the board. Like, yeah, we're gonna hang this up on the fridge, Joker. Good job.
Yeah, that'll show Batman.
Yes, I poisoned the reservoir. You sure did, buddy. You sure did.
All right, no, just flush the toilet. It's fine. Look at it go down there.
We're giving you the most important job. Just hand him a plunger.
Oh, this will really show Batman.
I am gonna break Gotham Dam wide open. That's very funny. Yeah, that'd be a funny Elseworld thing.
I like that. Well, that's it for all our questions today.
That's right.
Which you know what that means.
I sure do.
That's right. Time for everyone's favorite game.
I'm just gonna keep going.
Can you guess the name of the character based on how someone who does not read comic books can describe those characters to us? Hopefully you heard that.
I bet you didn't.
Yeah.
I really hope it's just unintelligible.
If you don't know what this game is,
villain team up.
I'm helping.
It's our only villain voice is Skeletor.
I mean, yeah, it's the one that's the funnest to do. That's why.
Skeletor / Krang.
Yeah. I'll get you, Batman. Turtles! Starscream!
They're all the same voice.
If you don't know what this game is, I send a photo of a DC character to my wife, and she sends back clues based on what she sees. She doesn't read comic books, nor does she care for them.
Right.
So, wrong and strong.
All right, let's do it. You legitimately stumped me last week.
I know.
It was a blow to the ego.
I know. Let's see if I can continue that blow.
Oh, yeah. Been waiting for that for a long time.
My guess is they're British based on their weapon.
Based on their weapon. A British weapon. Some sort of, like, saber, like a sword, something gentlemanly like that, or like an old-timey pistol. British based on their weapon. Let's just say like Shining Knight.
No.
Okay.
Next clue. Has their eye on you.
Okay. British weapon. So I'm still kind of thinking swords or some sort of old-timey pistol. One eye, though. We've already done Gentleman Ghost, but this feels like it's leading towards like the cane and the monocle thing. But we've already done Gentleman Ghost in this. Mm-hmm. So it's not going to be that.
That'd be a really big fuckery.
That would be fucked up. That would be truly fucked up if it was just Gentleman Ghost again. Maybe I'll just say maybe it's monocle.
No.
Okay.
Next clue, number 3.
Okay.
Has a leather trench coat and probably listens to Linkin Park.
Is it Manchester Black?
No.
Okay, because he really looks like that. Leather trench coat, listens to Linkin Park, British weapon. Is it the Shade?
No.
Okay, I need the last clue. Fuck. No. I can't do this 2 weeks in a row. Okay, give me the last clue. Let's have it.
This is my clue.
Okay. So is there another clue after this?
The fourth one she has is not going to help at all.
Okay, all right. So a subbed.
Unless you want it.
I mean, I'm just for curiosity's sake, but I mean, if it's not going to help, I'll just ask for another clue anyway. So
okay, likes to parkour.
Likes to parkour. British. I gotta forget British weapon. I think that's throwing me. Got an eye on you. Likes to parkour. Oh, geez, Louise. I don't know. It's not Fate, right? It's not Jared Stevens.
No.
I keep bringing him up because it might be one day, but okay.
No.
Yeah, give me
my
your
clue
then.
The leather daddy child of Batman and Superman.
Oh, is it Superboy?
No.
Well, I guess Superboy's kind of a leather daddy.
Yeah, no.
Okay, leather daddy child of Batman and Superman?
Yeah.
Oh god, I really should get this, shouldn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Leather daddy child of Batman and Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck. People are screaming at me, aren't they? Is this like a relatively obvious one?
It's not that deep of a cut.
Fuck. I can't even tell from the reflection in your glasses. I'm not above cheating. It's the villains episode. It's the villains episode.
That's true.
I don't know. I don't know. Midnighter. Fuck. Stupid idiot. Stupid got British weapon. He's got holding a tonfa like a police stick. Fucking Midnighter. I should have known.
The eye on the chest.
Yeah, that one. I think. Yeah, that was misleading. Yeah, that threw me off. Fuck. Fucking Midnighter. God damn it.
Oh, 2 weeks in a row.
This is the slump, baby.
I thought you could do better.
I can't. I fucking can't.
That's right. This is the end.
The end of the end.
You finally realized that the thing you wanted can't.
So do we do that like 2 episodes from the end of our show?
let the nothingness, the void finally take us.
Finally give the fans what they want.
I mean, yeah. They've been at least calling it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that was good. I'm pissed that I didn't get that, but that was
Van
good.
Eden.
I like that I lead. That's good.
Or Edenye.
Ooh, that sounds very like... Yeah.
Edenye.
What's our ship name?
Yeah.
Everyone listening at home, what's our ship name?
Yeah.
I mean, what? Huh?
Huh? If just for science. We would love to know what you think our ship name is, but we would also love to know, one, did you get Midnighter? We'd really love to know that.
Yeah, we probably did. I'm so stupid.
You guys are so smart.
I'm so fucking worthless.
Or send in a question for next week's episode.
Next week's episode, as decided by our Golden Age Patreon subscribers. Like, I'm waiting for the gap, right? Like I need you to stop so that I can say something. It's a Black Lightning episode, Jefferson.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
We're talking Black Lightning next
and
week.
Only
baby.
Black Lightning.
Black Lightning could be TV show, could be comics. Any characters associated with Black Lightning.
Except for one specific character.
Stories that are associated with Black Lightning. That's next week's episode. So send those questions in.
You can do so through our various social media platforms, such as our Facebook.
Dr. DC Podcast.
Twitter!
At Dr. DC.
Instagram.
Dr. DC Podcast. Sorry, there was news.
Oh.
And that made me think of it. Sylvester Stallone is going to be in the Suicide Squad. But they've already finished filming, which means he's a voice. Which means he's either voicing, like, King Shark, which we thought was Steve Agee.
No, that's Steve Agee, yeah.
Or is he voicing, like, Starro the Conqueror, who's supposed to be the villain? Like, is Sylvester Starro going to be like, hey, what you stupid Suicide Squad gonna do?
That's Squad, baby.
That would be fucking incredible. But at any rate, Sylvester Stallone is supposed to be in Suicide Squad.
Wow, I did not see that.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Dr. DC Podcast on Instagram.
And our email.
drdcpodcast@gmail.com.
And of course, we have a subreddit.
r/Dr_DC.
Doc phone is always open.
208-917-3238.
It's 208-917 DCU.
If you're nasty. I don't know. I can't be evil.
I mean, that's true. Fucking goody two shoes.
Yeah.
Sell cock.
Okay.
I'm bringing it back. And of course, go to our website.
drdcpodcast.com or .ca.
I need to redo that thing. And of course, you heard it at the beginning of this episode. We're looking for those 5-star reviews.
That's
baby.
right. Send them in. Send them on iTunes. Send them on Facebook. Send them anywhere else. But if they're not on iTunes or Facebook, also send them to us so that we know you did it, because we don't necessarily get notifications for
Absolutely. We're at 95. Once we get to 100, we'll finally start that Ghostfacers podcast.
that. We are, of course, past our milestones. Check out our Ghostfacers podcast. It's Ghostfacers, a Supernatural rewatch. We are going all the way through every single episode of Supernatural. We talk about real world monster lore and behind the scenes stuff about the episode.
This week, we did the Scarecrow episode.
Yeah,
Oh.
so good. A really, really solid first season episode.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you want even more content beyond our extra podcast, beyond the one that you give you every single Wednesday, we have a Patreon.
That's right. Patreon.com/DrDC. There are 3 levels, a $1 level, a $5 level, and a $7 level. And we give you extra bonus content every month. Sometimes it comes in the form of talking about books that we're reading or videos about that kind of stuff. There's a full bonus episode every week for the $5 and $7 levels. And that support helps us keep doing what we're doing on the main feed here, on our Supernatural podcast, and of course for all the cool exclusive stuff over on Patreon.
That's right. And if you Venmo me $50, I'll PM you Trump nudes.
Yes, and you don't have to give passport.
All right. That's it for this week. I will see you on Parler.
Adios.
Ciao, ciao.
They always fight for what is right. Live with danger and adventure.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.